Hey guys, what is up? Plastic Guy here, coming back with another video, and today we're taking a look at this Marvel Legends 2-pack with Magneto and Professor X. As there is two figures and they both look fantastic, I'm thinking they both deserve their own video, so I think I'm going to make this a two-parter, and today we're going to take a look at Magneto, and then later on this week, either tomorrow or the day after, we'll take a look at Professor X. So this is another Fox movie figure piece. On this channel we've previously looked at two Wolverines and the Deadpool Marvel Legends 2-pack. I was a fan of all those figures, they looked fantastic, and I don't think this is going to be any different. These guys look incredible, lots of head sculpts, lots of hands, and we've also got a Professor X wheelchair. As I said, we'll further look at that in that video. And we'll take a more focused look at Magneto today. This 2-pack I got on Amazon. I had an Amazon voucher from Christmas, and this pack ended up getting reduced in price, so I thought it was a great pickup. I did have my eye on it for a while. I'm a massive fan of Magneto. I think if I was to have my own superpowers, it would be Magneto's telekinesis powers. However, at the price point of £50, I really wasn't willing to pay that. Despite all the accessories, the amazing head sculpt, and the two figures, I don't think it's a bad price. Just personally, I wasn't willing to pay the 50. However, it did get dropped down on Amazon to 35. I still see it up on eBay for around 50. And with my voucher and things, I thought 35 was a good price for this 2-pack right here. And of course, when we take these guys out of the packaging, we'll get a better idea of what these guys are all about. So very similar to the Wolverine coloured packaging. In fact, it's probably the same colours, same logo, and you've also got the character names at the bottom. Marvel Legends up at the top here and up at the top here. We've got Magneto on the left side and all his head sculpts and hands, and then we've got Charles here. Wheelchair in the middle. I'm liking the look of that wheelchair there. Got Professor X on this side of the box, and then another Marvel Legends logo at the bottom. Really like the back. We've got the two images here of the characters, just very dark and mysterious rather than a full-on product image that we've had in other Marvel Legends boxes. And then we've got Magneto on this side. So we'll get Magneto out of the packaging and take a closer look at him in this video today. So here we have Magneto out of the packaging, and yeah, he looks great. We've got 3 head sculpts, 4 if you include the one that he's got on at the moment, and 2 pairs of interchangeable hands. The look at the moment is young Magneto with his helmet on, and yeah, he looks great. The cape was a bit tricky getting out the packaging, but I don't think there's any damage or anything going on, so that's not really a problem. We'll just take a closer look at Magneto in this look, and then we'll swap around the hands, we'll swap around the heads and see what he's all about. So this head sculpt is fantastic. The likeness is amazing. I really like the helmet, and I really like the facial sculpt as well. Just good detail throughout the body. Really no complaints. So you've kind of got his armoured look going on, and then the detail runs right down the figure. Different kind of sheen to the plastic here in the boots. Gives it a good contrast to the trousers, I think. And the gauntlets as well, and then on the back you're really just seeing the cape. So yeah, I think he looks great. I'm more of a fan of the Sir Ian McKellen look, so we'll swap around the heads and see what that looks like. So here's Magneto with the Sir Ian McKellen head sculpt with the helmet. And I think this is the look I'll be going for when I put him on display. I think this is the more kind of typical Magneto look. The helmet, classic look from the original X-Men movies. Yeah, this is the Magneto that I would prefer out of all these options. I have just noticed the cape's kind of warped. here. Probably just the way it's been packaged, but it's not too big a deal. So yeah, that's that head sculpt. Go for this one next. So here's the unmasked or unhelmeted Sir Ian McKellen head sculpt, and this looks fantastic. This really looks great. Even though I think I'd display him with the helmeted head, this could be my favourite head sculpt in the whole pack, even including Professor X. He looks so good. The skin tone is amazing. He's got some marks here, but I think that's just a bit of loose plastic that'll be able to come off. The hair looks awesome, really well sculpted, and the likeness I think is great. I mean, it could be better, but I think, you know, at the right angle and lighting and things, the head sculpt is amazing, and there's no question of who it is. And I think it definitely holds up with other Fox figures we've seen with the likes of Wolverine and Deadpool and things. I'll get that Wolverine figure and we can pose them next to each other in a minute after we see this last head sculpt here, and then we'll also get to the hands as well. So here's the unhelmeted young Magneto head, and once again, just the unhelmeted ones, the details and the sculpting are so good. The hair's spot on, the facial details are just brilliant. Even though they're not the ones I'm going to display, I'm so happy to have them because they just look amazing. And I love having that option as well to swap the heads around. Even though I will probably start displaying them with this head sculpt, it's definitely a good idea to swap them around now and again, and just gives that wee bit of difference to your collection. So I'm just going to quickly swap the hands around and we'll see what's going on there. So here we have the alternative hands on, and they are just the same posed hands but for the alternative arms. So as you can see, you could have two open hands like this, and that might be what I go for. I'm not sure yet. So here is Magneto posed next to the only other Magneto figure I have in my collection. Before this 2-pack came out, I was looking for Magneto figures, and there was a few on eBay, not as much the movie variants, but more comic versions, and I managed to get this guy for a cheap price. He's nicely detailed, he's got good colour to him, but he is just looking a lot on the older side now. The helmet does come off, and you've got that unhelmeted head, and the mask kind of looks a bit, well, the helmet looks a bit goofy when it's on there. But I was happy to have him, but I'm even happier to have this guy now. I'm not sure this guy will be going back up on display when I've got this guy here. But as you can see, the similarities going on with the cape, but this is definitely a more comic book look, and it is a bit different to the comic book versions we've seen of Magneto. But nonetheless, it's an alright Magneto figure. It did come with some weird thing on his arm, I took that off. So yeah, I'm happy to get this upgrade. And posing Magneto next to another Fox figure, we have the Wolverine here, and we did take a look at this guy on the channel, so if you've not seen that video, just make sure to hop on over and see what is going on with him. I think these guys look great together. We also have the leather variant of Wolverine, which we could pose next to him. I do have him in the box at the moment, which is why I've went for the tank top Wolverine here. But in terms of those first X-Men films, these guys represent the characters so well, and I think if you wanted to pose them together in your collection, they would look great with one another. Wolverine does look like he's standing just a bit taller than Magneto here. But yeah, you could get these guys in some great poses, and I probably will over on my Instagram, which I'll leave the link in the bio. So I'll just quickly run over the articulation on this Magneto figure. The sculpting is great, but I just want to see what the range of movement's like, so you can look up that much. Kind of like that far down. You can look obviously left and right, and you're just popping the heads off easily enough and swapping them around for whatever head you want. All have the same movement to them. The cape, when I was swapping the heads out, there is a wee socket here that pops in the back of the figure, and it popped out when I was getting the heads on, and it was a bit tricky to get back in, if I'm being honest, but did get there eventually, and I don't think it will be a massive deal. The arms move up about that much, can move back about that much. Obviously you could take the cape off and things and you'd get a better range of motion, but if you want that Magneto look, you're wanting the cape on, so it will restrict the arm movements a bit. It is a bit stiff as well, I've found, but it's just out the box. So his arm's just going to move out about that much by the looks of it. You can see the joints in there isn't going to allow it to move any further, so I'm not wanting to break the figure. It will move out about that much there. And he's got double jointed elbows, so he can get his arm moving right the way back like that. Yeah, that's about as far as it go. And there isn't much, you can rotate the wrist and things, but there isn't much movement backwards and forwards. The gauntlet thing here kind of restricts it a bit. I did want to get this hand moved up a bit more, so his palm is really showing, but it won't move back any further than it is. And in terms of this arm, the articulation is just the same. You can rotate him at the upper torso here, just below the chest. He will rotate. Won't move at the waist, but his legs will kick out about that much. Can kick back, about that much. It's not going to move any further back than that. You can rotate him at the upper thigh. And he's also got double jointed knees. Rotated the calf as well. Then you've also got backwards and forwards movement in this foot here, and he's got ankle pivot as well. And if you have a flight stand, I think this Magneto would look awesome up on a flight stand, so I'm just going to check that out and see what he looks like. So that's about it for this Magneto figure. I'm really happy with him. I do wish his arms would move a bit more. I'm trying to kind of move his arm out to the side a bit here, but it doesn't want to budge and I'm too scared to break the figure. So his arms are a bit restricted in movement, and that's really my only fault with the figure. I love the different head sculpts that he comes with. Overall, I'm really happy with the figure. For the reduced price on the 2-pack, I'm definitely happy with £35 for both of these guys. As I said, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys, for part 2, where we're going to look at Professor X, and hit the like button as well if you like this video. I'll leave the link to my Instagram in the description below, where you can go and check out pictures that I take of my collection, and I'm sure Magneto will be up anytime now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.